Hello everyone, welcome and thank you for joining me. Today we're going to show you the mirrored image technique. So as you can see, this bird here is stamped this way and then it's mirrored over here. The bird we're using is coming from the Free as a Bird stamp set. So this little guy right here, as you can see, stamped that way, mirrored here. So let's get to it. First thing we're going to do is take a scrap piece of Very Vanilla with your Memento ink. Any ink would work for this technique, but for this card we're going to use Memento. So we're going to stamp the little birdie here. I'm going to take that and set it aside for a minute. We're going to take out the silicone craft sheet. Now this is what we're going to use to stamp the bird on once again. That's how we're going to get the mirrored image. We're going to take the vanilla paper here. We're going to flip the craft sheet over, place the bird where we want him, and then just give it a quick little rub here to transfer the ink nicely. And when we pull it off, voila, now we have the mirrored image. So that's all there is to it. Super simple, another great use for the craft sheet. Next step in making this card here is we're going to use the stitched rectangle framelit dies here, in particular this size here. Run it through the Big Shot so we can get the nice stitching around the bird images, which I've done here already for us. So now that we've got the stitching and the birds are stamped, we're going to color them in with the Stampin' blends. The first bird here I'm going to color with Pool Party. I'm going to start with the light. And I'm just going to fill the whole image in. Then I'm going to come in with the dark. I'm just going to do some shading and highlighting of this image. For this particular one, they've got some nice lines here that I'm just going to follow along with, just to kind of highlight the edges and give it a little bit of shading. This really brings the image to life. Okay, just like that. The second bird I'm going to color with So Saffron. So again, I'm going to start with the light. And come in again with the dark. A little bit of shading here. Okay. Now that the birds are colored, I'm going to use the light pumpkin pie and I'm just going to color in their beaks here. And then I'm going to use the light soft suede just to give a little bit of color to the ground they're standing on. Just like that. Okay, so our images here are done. Now we're going to go on to the card itself. So the card base, I've used Petal Pink. I've already got it scored down the middle. Fold it in half, and I'm going to come in with my bone folder and I'm just going to really make that edge crisp so it's a nice clean fold. My next layer is Pool Party. This is cut to 4 by 5 1/4. And then I've got another layer of Very Vanilla, which is going to be cut to 3 3/4 by 5. That's going to get layered on top of here. Just like this. I'm then going to take a piece of the Designer Series paper Bird Ballad. I've cut this to 2 inches by 5, so it's going to sit right here on the bottom. Okay, just like so. Next is going to be to add some of our organdy striped ribbon in the petal pink. So that's just going to layer right across the Designer Series paper top there. I'd like to adhere my ribbon with tear and tape. So I'm just going to rip a piece off. I'm going to wrap the ribbon around the back like so. Pull it a little bit more. And just attach that across, just like that. Wrap it around the front, make sure it's in line still. Take another piece of tear and tape. If I can find the end. There we go. Adhere that in place. And then just snip off the excess just like that. Okay, now this can be attached to the front of the card. And being that the tear and tape's already there holding the ribbon in place, for an extra layer of adhesive, we'll just rip that off. And now that will help to stick to the front of the card. Okay. We're going to add the bird images here using dimensionals. Okay, and we're going to adhere that over top of the ribbon just like so. Okay, and we're going to take another little piece of the ribbon and just snip it off like this. And we're going to tuck it in here. Just tie it in a knot. Trim off some of this tail here, like so. Make this a nice clean image, just like that. Okay, now we've got a little salutation that we need to cut. So for that one, just need a little piece of vanilla cut to 3/4 of an inch wide by 2 3/4 long, like so. We're going to use congratulations on the front of this card, and I've used the congratulations from the Peaceful Moments stamp set. I adore the stamp set. I love the way the font is written. I love all the sayings. It's a great stamp to add to your collection. So congratulations here using Memento ink again. That on here, just like that. Okay, now we're going to add that to the front of the card using dimensionals as well. Okay, and center that beneath the birds. So, and the last thing we want to do is to add the cute little hearts. So I'm going to use a scrap of petal pink, and using the dog builder punch, I'm going to use this cute little heart. I'm going to cut 2 of them out with the punch. 1. Oh, that's not going to quite work. 2. And then with some white liquid glue, I'm just going to put a dab here for one of the hearts and a dab here for the other. Let's put that in place. Got a little straggler piece here. Okay, so the front of the card is done. Now for the inside, I've cut a very vanilla piece 4 by 5 1/4, and we're going to use a stamp also from the Peaceful Moments wishing you every happiness this special day will bring. And I'm just going to stamp that right in the center, just like so. And we can move here snail adhesive to the back of that. And center it nicely in the middle of our card. Just like so. And there's our card all complete. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you've liked the mirrored image technique. I can't wait to see all your creations using this new technique. And thank you for stopping in. I hope to see you soon.